In the sea, once upon a time, oh my best beloved, there was a whale, and he ate fishes. He ate the starfish, and the garfish, and the crab, and the dab, and the plaice, and the dace, and the skate, and his mate, and the mackerel, and the pickerel, and the very truly twirly-whirly eel. All the fishes he could find in all of the sea, he ate with his mouth. So, till at last there was only one small fish left in all of the sea, and he was a small 'stute fish. And he swam a little behind the whale's right ear so as to keep out of harm's way. Then the whale stood up on his tail and said, "I'm hungry." And the small 'stute fish said in a small 'stute voice, "Noble and generous cetacean, have you ever tasted man?" "No. What's it like?" Nice, but nubbly." "Then fetch me some," said the whale, and he made the sea froth up with his tail. "Oh, one at a time is enough. If you swim to latitude 50 north, longitude 40 west, you'll find sitting on a raft in the middle of the sea with nothing on but a pair of blue canvas breeches and a pair of suspenders." You must not forget the suspenders, best beloved. "And a jackknife. One shipwrecked mariner, who it is only fair to tell you, is a man of infinite resource and sagacity." So the whale swam and swam to latitude 50 north, longitude 40 west, as fast as he could swim, and on a raft in the middle of the sea with nothing on but a pair of blue canvas breeches and a pair of suspenders. You must particularly remember the suspenders, best beloved. And a jackknife, one single solitary shipwrecked mariner trailing his toes in the water. He did have his mummy's leave to paddle, or he would never have done it, because he was a man of infinite resource and sagacity. Then the whale opened up his mouth, back and back and back, till it nearly touched his tail, and he swallowed the shipwrecked mariner, and the raft he was sitting on, and the blue canvas breeches, and the suspenders, which you must not forget, and the jackknife. He swallowed them all down into his warm, dark inside cupboard, smacked his lips so, and turned around 3 times on his tail. But when the mariner, who was a man of infinite resource and sagacity, found himself truly inside the whale's warm, dark, inside cupboards, he stumped, and he jumped, and he thumped, and he bumped, and he pranced, and he danced, and he banged, and he clanged, and he hit, and he bit, and he leaped, and he creeped, and he howled, and he prowled, and he hopped, and he dropped, and he cried, and he sighed, and he crawled, and he bowled, and he stepped, and he leapt, and he danced hornpipes where he shouldn't, and the whale felt most unhappy indeed. Have you forgotten the suspenders? So the whale said to the 'stute fish, "This man is very noble, and besides, he is giving me the, he's making me, giving me the, so what shall I do?" "Tell him to come out." So the whale called down his own throat to the shipwrecked mariner, "Come out and behave yourself. I've got the hiccups." "Nay, nay," said the mariner, "not so, but far otherwise. You take me to my natal shore on the white cliffs of Albion, and I'll think about it." And he began to dance more than ever. "You had better take him home. I warned you he was a man of infinite resource and sagacity." So the whale swam and swam with both his flippers and his tail as hard as he could for the hiccups, till at last he saw the man's natal shore, the white cliffs of Albion. He rushed halfway up the beach, opened up his mouth wide and wide and wide, and said, "Change here for Winchester, Ashlow, Nashua, Keene, and all stations Fitchburg Road." And just as he said Fitch, the mariner walked out of his mouth. But while the whale had been swimming, this mariner, who was indeed a person of infinite resource and sagacity, had taken his jackknife, cut up that raft into a little square grating, all running crisscross, and tied it firm with his... Now you know why you're not to forget those suspenders. And he dragged that grating good and tight into the whale's throat, and there it stuck. Then he recited the following sloka, which, as you have not yet heard it, I will now proceed to relate. By means of a grating, I have stopped your eating. Well, the mariner walked off the beach and went home to his mother, who had given him leave to trail his toes in the water. He married and lived happily ever afterward. Oh, so did the whale. But from that day on, the grating in his throat, which he could neither cough up nor swallow down, it prevented him from eating anything except very, very small fish, which is why whales nowadays never eat men or boys or little girls. The 'stute fish went and hid himself in the mud under the dorsals of the equator. He was afraid that the whale might be angry with him. The sailor took his jackknife home. He was wearing those blue canvas breeches when he walked off the beach, but the suspenders were left behind, you see, to tie the grating with, and that's the end of that tale.